additions or corrections? If not, can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Second, all right. Did you get all that? Pause. Second, I would just like to thank Tammy for being in charge for the last couple of meetings as I've been away. She did a wonderful job, is what I hear, so thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
All right, first order of business is we need to nominate a new chair and a new vice chair for this year. So I'll open the floor for nomination for chair.
I nominate Chris Taylor.
Any other nominations?
Vice Chair Toby.
So we have a nomination for Chris Taylor to be chair and Toby Swagger to be vice chair. Do we have seconds on either one of those?
I moved to second on both. On both people.
We need a second. Yeah, we need somebody else to second Toby.
Sure.
I second Toby.
All right, so Toby nominated Chris, and Tammy second.
Tammy nominated Toby.
Tammy nominated Toby, and the second is?
Chris.
Chris.
Mhm.
Okay. We're vice.
Any other nominations? Well, let's vote then. All in favor of Chris Taylor?
Aye.
Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nomination carries. All in favor of Toby Swagger, vice chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Congratulations, Toby. All right. Next, I'd like to open the audience for any comments from citizens. Any comments?
Just thank you all.
Thank you. We don't get a lot of visitors, but that's good. All right. Moving right along, reports from staff. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Josh.
As everybody know, we've had a rough couple of weeks with a lot of tree damage and stuff. I was unable to participate Monday on the walkthrough, but several members of the board did a walkthrough of the Arboretum. And looking at the list of some maintenance stuff, the staff out at Moss Wright Park, we were able to go ahead and get that river birch trimmed off the visitor center. Number 18, the willow oak, we got all those limbs out of that tree. The black walnut, number 26, we did some cutting. Number 27, a black willow, we did cut it shorter after Eddie's recommendation with the staff out there. 21, the green ash, Eddie's recommendation was to hold off on completely removing that one until we kind of see what that tree does coming out of the spring. The pin oak, number 55, the standing water on the base. I guess with the rain this weekend and as wet as the ground is, I don't know if y'all noticed over in that area, but that is right next to a ditch that collects a lot of water right there. You know, so we can look at ways of, see if we can maybe do some kind of little berm or something to kick some water more to the left of it.
Josh, it just looked like water was going around both sides, and I was just worried over time, is that going to totally erode
Yeah.
to, you know, where the root base is? So
So, yeah, so we're gonna look at that, and see what we can do there, because that area does, I don't know if you noticed too, that parking lot right there, like there's springs or something, like that area is constantly wet. There's even in drought conditions, you can go out in July and see water running across that parking lot. So it is a wet area, but we will see what we can do, to divert some of that water.
Yeah, it just looked like that is where the water eventually goes off into the ditch, right where right at that tree. So, yeah, anything you could do would be great. Thanks.
All right. The label issues, I guess all these down here, there's 5 of them that need new labels. We do not have any replacement labels for those, so we need to order some new ones for those. As far as the native wildflower meadow, on page 5 in the packet, it's got a breakdown of the next year of their timeline and their plans to get that established and going. So really won't see anything happen with that till April or May.
So do they totally handle all that, or is there anything they need from us, or do you know?
From my understanding, yes, they are handling every bit of that. We just, like as we had been saying, we just needed the parking lot to get done so they could actually see the area they were going to be working with on that. That is all the updates that the maintenance side has.
Thank you, sir. Eddie, do you have any updates you want to add?
No.
The only other thing I guess we could update is the disc golf course had a few down trees as well. There was no damage to any of the baskets, which was nice, but the course is closed until we're able to clean up the down trees and then some more of the brush that's still over at Brooks and North Creek.
Does anybody want to comment on what's going to happen with the mile-high pile of trees that are in North Creek Park?
Yeah, Tim would know all the exact particulars of that.
So, under a FEMA declaration where we get reimbursed, it is done per county. So that's the reason why there's two piles of debris there. That will be either counted by cubic yard as it's hauled off, or some means of other measure that FEMA accepts, which we have not really had to do this since 2010, and we're confirming what is acceptable and what is not. Toby may be more familiar with it than I am. He's responded to a few more emergencies, but we at this point most likely would not start hauling anything off until everything is collected. And under a FEMA declaration, we will be reimbursed 75% from FEMA normally, but it's not a given. The state of Tennessee reimburses 12.5%. No one has come out and said that the 12.5% is going to be given. One of the big pieces to the city of Goodlettsville is that any nonprofit faith-based organization volunteer hours can be used as our match toward our 12.5%. And a wild card guess at this point, I would say we're probably looking at $1 million in recovery, and I could end up being way off, but we won't know until we get there.
Thanks, Tim.
Can I add something to that?
Please.
Every volunteer hour is worth somewhere around $32 in credit to the city of Goodlettsville. So I encourage you and anyone else listening to this, if you want to volunteer, connect with Inspiritus, who is based at First Baptist Church, connect with Good Works. We'll gladly have volunteers, and we're doing a volunteer day on February 28th.
Thanks,
Toby,
Toby.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Where are y'all doing the volunteer day at? And what are some details of it?
I'll be determining that next week because I'll have to look at our request for assistance, but we'll have some target neighborhoods that still have a number of requests that have not been met, and then we'll spread out from there. The goal being that we canvass each of those neighborhoods and verify that every resident that's been affected has been assisted. We can use any volunteers of any age as long as their parents are with them. Anybody can drag a branch to the road. And it'll start about 9 o'clock. We'll announce on HIP and all of our pages where we will meet.
Okay, thanks, Toby. And Tim, I'd just like to say thanks to Public Works too. It seems like they've been on it pretty quickly, and I know it's a massive undertaking. But, they were through my neighborhood early, and of course, there's a big pile again, but,
Well, do you mind if I say something right quick?
No, I'd like
I mean,
to.
I cannot thank our staff in every department from the response the day of the 24th, 25th, and 26th to the recovery efforts that we're going through. And I know in this word, recovery may not be as significant as a tornado and other disasters, but that's the word that we've been told to use. But give you, for instance, Mr. Gaby and his crew went from being parks to clearing streets because the first time in our career, we're having to salt and plow roads while having to remove trees out of the road at the same time. Mr. Anderson, probably the first time in his career, had to open a warming shelter that definitely was out of the norm. Our community center has always been the designated warming or temporary shelter, and the key word is temporary because we don't have the bathing facilities and so forth. Mr. Swagger has been phenomenal from his experience, and all of those that have volunteered. Ms. Reddy has been there from day one, and even though we were prepared for it, and I think we did a heck of a job responding to it, I could never ask for anyone to have been more prepared and more accommodating and accomplishing as our staff was, without a doubt. Ms. Skaggs here was sitting in our operations center, pushing out stuff, putting up with me, and it was an interesting 3 or 4 days. So I just wanted to say that before it got away from me.
well, I just wanted to say that I, as a citizen, noticed the response, so I appreciated it. Okay, on to unfinished business. Pretty much have an update already on the Wildflower Meadow, so we'll wait to see how that develops. And then just as far as the Arboretum walkthrough, again, I think we were pretty lucky that we didn't really lose a lot of our Arboretum trees. We just some minor damage and stuff like that, so overall, it's in pretty good shape.
Mr. Chairman, I do want to point out one thing. When y'all do a walkthrough or things of that nature, it can be considered a public meeting, and we need to make sure that Ms. Baker has put a notice that y'all are going to do that, because you will be meeting as a group. We don't have to advertise in the paper and so forth, but we do need to make the public aware of it.
No problem. All right, new business, beautification update.
Yes, I have tentatively scheduled a spring cleanup, and it is right now for May 2nd at 9 a.m. We would be doing North Creek Boulevard as being the road to kind of work on, and the reason that date was selected is because it is in conjunction with the shredding event that will be taking place at the Public Services location, so we would have staff that would be available to pick up bags as soon as we remove the litter from the roadways. So right now, like I said, tentatively scheduled May 2nd. Once that is finalized, we will have a volunteer application on our website and social media pages to get out to everybody that wants to participate that day. Thanks. Oh, and then Julie Smith just passed over. The Adopt a Landscape and Adopt a Street applications are now live on the city's website. So as people are thinking about cleaning up and wanting to continue long-term cleanups in their neighborhoods on public roadways, we do have applications for streets that are open for people to adopt, and as well as landscapes that people are willing to adopt. So that is all under Volunteer Goodlettsville, and we have those applications, and you can submit which areas you would like to adopt, and then you would work with city staff just to kind of get the supplies and to go over any waivers and anything like that. So that is at goodlettsville.gov under the Volunteer Goodlettsville portion of our city's website for people to get involved.
Thank you. Revive and Root update.
Yes, thank you. Due to some staffing conflicts and some conferences that we have the week we were initially looking to do Revive and Root, we've actually changed our date to Friday, April the 17th. We've also changed the time earlier to 10 till 12. We have a homeschool PE group that comes every Friday at that time, and that we're going to look at incorporating them into the event. That will add about 30 to 40 kids that'll be involved in the program. We just feel like that would be a benefit for the program to have those kids involved. We have Miss Vanessa Hale here today to go over a little bit more about the schedule and what to expect on the date. So Miss Vanessa, thank you.
Hi everybody, most of y'all already know me. My name is Vanessa Hill. I am the Program and Events Coordinator. We are excited to be working with you on this event again this year. Basically, this is an opportunity to make it educational and fun for our community, as well as our adults who participate to create their own experience. In front of you, Jennifer has prepared items for you to visualize about what this event would look like. And we have purchased badges again for the tree board committee like we did last year. They will say, "Ask me" with the QR code. So anybody who comes to you with a question, you can answer it, but then that QR code will lead directly to your tree board page so they can find out more information. Our timeline is pretty similar to what it was last year. We will have 3 speakers within the event. So we plan on having 1 hour of education and information, and then about an hour of activity, hands-on experience, and fun. The hands-on experiences are going to stay very similar to what they were last year, such as the Earth Day puzzles, the touching sensory games with like the box where they put like a pine cone in it and you have to try to figure out what it is. We have a button making station that we will have. We'll also have QR codes for the tree board there as well that they could take one home with them. We will have the bird feeder station again and the scavenger hunts, which they can take the scavenger hunts home with them and do them at any of our parks. We will also have vendors there, so we will have 2 food trucks. We are looking at a taco food truck as well as Kona Ice to be at this event. And then as far as the participants, as Dave already mentioned, we are working with our homeschool group that is already there, but I know that Jennifer has also contacted local schools for the middle and elementary school to bring over students during that time as a field trip. So we are expecting to probably have 100 students that will be there to participate in this event as well from the local schools. If there are any additions or any questions or anything you would like to add to this.
I think it looks great.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Vanessa.
I just wanted to say, last year was really awesome. You did a great job, and I'm looking forward to it this year.
Okay. Kind of getting close to the end of our agenda here, just as far as comments. I just have one question. You know, I'm stayed mostly focused on Moss Wright Park and stuff like that. Did any of our other smaller parks have any major issues or damage from the storm?
Pretty much all of them had tree damage. We had some water leaks at Pleasant Green associated with the cold and things like that, but all of them pretty much had some sort of snapped limbs or something with them. Brooks was probably, I mean, not Brooks. Pleasant Green was probably second place in number of limbs and stuff. We spent a lot of time getting a lot of hangers down over there. But all of them had some damage, mainly just tree damage.
Thanks. Just wondered about that. So any other comments from board members or staff?
I was just going to add an update to the LPRF 2025 project. Prior to the start of the recirculation project at Moss Wright Park, TDEC is requiring an archaeological dig. The dig was delayed due to the ice storm, so it's scheduled to start next week. And then with regards to replacement of trees that have been damaged due to the ice storm, we're going to come up with a plan after we get through with all the cleanup to determine what our needs are, and then look into grant applications for replacement.
Sounds like a good plan.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Dave. There is a group of disc golfers that have been going around to different disc golf courses and coordinating cleanup days with volunteers. Is that something that would interest the Parks Department?
It would. I'd like our park staff to remove any dangerous limbs and trees and whatnot and have a full inventory on and just make sure that the area is safe before we bring any volunteer groups in. But then once that we get the go-ahead that everything's safe and clear, then yeah, I think that would be a good thing for cleanup for sure.
Roger that.
Yeah, with that, Toby, yes, disc golf is nowhere near ready to have volunteers come in. We still got about 2 days worth of bucket truck work through the woods, getting stuff that's hung up and things like that. So at some point, we could use some help there with volunteers, but just not at this time. Yeah, well, and at this time, disc golf is technically closed because we're using North Creek as the dump site. So we did remove a couple of baskets over there because we still had some people showing up and trying to play around everything and around dump trucks unloading brush and all of that.
I didn't realize disc golf players were as bad as pickleball players, so,
That's a good thing.
Maybe worse.
uh-oh. All right, any other comments? If not, somebody want to call for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn.
Second?
And
We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Vanessa, I want to see you just a minute.